there's so much of the our life in London, especially, that's concrete.
Yes.
Yeah, even outside my house at the moment, they're doing building works, and they could easily, instead of, there's a big concrete area with nothing on it, and they could easily put some few trees there, grass, but they're just putting new slabs over, just making it more and more grey, and it's it's not natural.
You know what's interesting? How there's so much unused space, and they'll just leave it abandoned instead of tearing out all the concrete and making some kind of community farming hub or something like that. That's never an initiative that's pushed for some reason. Like, there's a space up here and it's like an old car park. It's huge.
Yeah.
If you just got some diggers in there, just got rid of the concrete, you could just start planting things and get all the community involved. Suddenly you're growing your own food, you're getting to know your neighbours more, crime becomes less. But I don't know. I feel like there is a sense of, when you have things like government projects, they kind of do kick your leg and offer you a crutch. It's not sort of offering you a crutch when you're hurt, and then when you're done using it, you give it back. It's like, no, they want to keep you on that crutch for whatever reason. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's so cool to be able to have more of like spots in London or in the world where you can grow your own veg, and they are really popular. They're getting more popular, like urban gardening, things like that. But yeah, if you can grow some of your own veg, you have a deeper appreciation and relationship with the ground, the soil, and how much it takes to grow vegetables and fruit. And imagine, just going out into your garden, picking like a fig or whatever it was, and coming back and even eating that. It's a whole different experience. And I feel, if you're gonna eat animal products, imagine if you had the animal in your life, and you could sort of, if you had to kill it or eat it, that animal could last you a whole year, whatever it is, and you really pay respect to it, and it's the whole process rather than just going to a supermarket. You see like the meat in these kind of plastic slabs, and you've got no idea that the animal that you killed and what's gone into it. And I think a lot of people forget. I definitely did beforehand a few years ago, thinking like, this meat has come from a living animal. And I think if you do eat meat, you've got to really pay respect and kind of take a moment before you eat that meal of like, have gratitude and thanks that you're eating this living being for your own body.
How often would you say that you eat meat now? Because you were vegan for like 3 years or something, right? 3
years being vegan, and then probably about 5 days a week or some kind of
it's quite a lot of times a week.
Yeah.
Or you're vegan 5 days a week?
No, I'm probably vegan like 1 or 2 days a week.
Okay.
Or vegetarian 1 or 2 days a week, and then I'll have
meat 5 days a week.
Meat, yeah. So I'll have either like maybe some like a variety of animals, like, and then just really variety like chicken or pork, or I'm not set on like one.
I have a variety of animals.
And I don't have a massive amount, and I get smaller quality, so I can afford to have the best quality I can find.
Yeah.
And for me personally, I feel better having some animal products in my diet, but I know that being vegan can definitely work for some people. And I'm glad I went through that process, because before I was vegan, I just bought like the cheapest stuff out there. Like, got like kind of pretty caged ends, eggs, and just didn't really think about the connection. And then now I feel, even though I am killing animals now, I'm part of that process. For me personally, I've evolved a lot, and I'm much more appreciation of the animals and what they've been through. But I think there's a lot of people who don't have that appreciation and wouldn't maybe necessarily kill animal, but still eat animals and on a regular basis. What
was your diet like when you were vegan? Do you remember roughly like your daily eating plan?
Compared to now, it was definitely a lot more carbs. Maybe same as you, can eat a lot more.
That's what I love about being vegan.
Rice, quinoa, potatoes, things like that. Just
like, for example, did you have breakfast, or would you fast?
For breakfast I'd have some kind of, usually like porridge and loads of kind of fruit on it, similar to what your kind of inventions to your Instagram. Not as good as that, but just a variety of nuts, seeds, fruit, various things like that, a lot of salads, and then I guess more for the protein side of it, more like lentils, chickpeas, things like that. And it was generally good. And I think a lot of people feel a lot better going vegan when they first go vegan, especially because they've gone from a really processed diet full of lots of shit, and it's great when they go vegan because they understand the power of vegetables and getting a wide variety, a spectrum of colours in your diet. But yeah, I think I said before, like by the end, I just had a lot of like low energy and low sex drive.
Wow.
And yeah, I felt as soon as I kind of changed, I felt a lot better in a lot of ways. But that's just me personally. And
That's so
from
interesting.
my course, one of the main things I take away from it is bio-individuality, that different diets can work. And you look at kind of different civilizations, different groups of people all over the world who live more ancestrally and maybe eat what we used to eat hundreds, 1,000 years ago. They're all variety of different diets. Some have a more high fat, low carb diet. Some people it's opposite. Some eat pretty much vegetarian, vegan. Some eat pretty much all animal products. And there's your diet depends on a lot of people.
Like an Eskimo and a Greek person have two different diets.
My gut health is going to be a lot different to yours probably, depending on our background. My ancestry is like Northern European English pretty much, and yours would be different.
How are you with dairy?
I'm fine with dairy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have it 3 years, and now I eat. If I have it, I don't have milk or dairy products with a lot of lactose in it, which is what a lot of people react to. So if I have dairy, it's more likely to be like butter or cheese, for example, because that's got lower levels of lactose in it. And ideally, I would choose goat kind of products just because they've got even less, and it's less likely to cause irritants. But there's a lot of people where dairy is a big, dairy and gluten can be a big factor in that.
It's something like a quarter of people, I think, have an intolerance to it.
Definitely more people who have, I guess, Asian ancestry are more likely to. So I'm just moving a little bit. Have a more likely to have dairy as an irritant in the diet.
Yeah.
But one of the, I guess, easiest thing you can do is just take out your diet for a few weeks. If you think there's a certain food source, take out your diet for 4 weeks, reintroduce it back in, have like a food diary so you kind of feel when you do eat it, what's the energy like? When you go for a toilet, kind of what is that like? Is it diarrhea, constipation, or is it kind of good size stool?
How are you in that department?
I am good now. When I was vegan, it was definitely a lot worse.
Was it?
Yeah.
Like in what way?
I felt almost I had like IBS in that I was just having a lot of diarrhea. And there were certain times where I felt I needed to know where the nearest toilet was in an area. Not that I would always need to go to the toilet, but just in case. Fear and just, and that doesn't necessarily mean that's because of me being vegan. That could be something else, and that has other factors to do with stress and sleep. But I feel now... Do you
think that you were more stressed at that time?
I was definitely... We're just tweaking our mics. I was definitely in a job I didn't enjoy it as much compared to now. I was more in an admin-based job, whereas now I'm more in the yoga world, and I really enjoy working in that, because just, I guess, same as you now with jiu-jitsu, you meet a lot of interesting people who are involved in that space and have had a lot of experiences from being working in yoga, so they wouldn't necessarily had otherwise than working in a normal 9 to 5 office space.